I've logged in as a user, okay, as an EDIS author. I'm going to show you if I let's see, if I log out here and I want to register with the site. Oh, it keeps making me do that. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. So if you're a new user that needs to register, and if you have trouble with this, you can go ahead and email me and I will set you up. Your section editor can also set you up. There are, the asterisks indicate which fields are required. So a username, a password, and it requires you to prove you're not a robot. First name, last name, etc. Your email, and it asks for an ORCID ID, which is a very good idea. You can click through to the ORCID registry to set that up if you don't already have one. You can also record that in your UF profile. Then additional information, the more that's in here is the more that will go into your automatically get loaded every time you submit a publication into the publication metadata. So it's a good idea to have this both correct and complete. Then you'll want to click that you're registering as an author and a reviewer. We're not using the reader function yet. You can go ahead and click that, doesn't matter. This field here is where you'll put in the subject areas that you are willing to review. So I would select those keywords carefully so that your editors can find you to review. If you are a member of another journal on the site, it can cause problems if you set up another profile. So if you think that might pertain to you, please contact me or your section editor before proceeding. We can correct the problem, but if you're a member of another journal, then we may have to escalate it to Christy Shorey or Suzanne Stapleton to correct it. Okay, so I'm not going to actually create a user here. Okay. For those of you whose departments are not online or are thinking about it, I can bulk load authors in a batch, and I did that with a lot of the departments. Some of you may have been bulk loaded with your department and don't remember your password. It is super easy to reset your password. On that login screen, it says forgot your password. You just put in your email, it sends you a link, and you just get a new password. It's probably the easiest thing to do if you don't log in to this system very frequently. It is not the same as your Gator link because it has users all across the state and outside of IFAS, outside of the, it'll have reviewers that are not associated with any university. All right, so I'm an author. I've got two that are already, I've already loaded up here. This is my author page. So when I log in, I can see my two roles are author and reviewer. I can see that I have two active right here on the home page. I can see this archive list will tell me ones that have been published or rejected, any that aren't really involved, I'm not involved with working on right now. And I have a link over here to submit a new submission. I have a reviewer role, which I'll get to later, and it shows I have one active there. On the sidebar, you also have, can do some things over here. Usually I don't get too involved on the sidebar. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a new submit. Well, let me go to your page first. Let's click on author. You can click any of these places, but let's click on your author here. It's going to show me, okay. This is going to show you breadcrumbs. So this tells me that I'm on the user author, and these are my active submissions. Here's the title of the page that I'm on. And there's two types of pages. There's active submissions and the archive submissions. The bold one shows the one that I'm on. This is the one that I'm not on. If I click on archive, it'll take me to a list of the archive submissions. There's nothing there. I can go back to the active submissions. These pages are a little bit busy. They allow you to do a lot of things on them, but for a beginner, it means that there's a lot of sort of garbage on the page. Okay, so when you have a list, like these 2 items, you have a table here with headers, and each of these you can click on to sort the list. So right now the IDs are out of order. This is the one I submitted first on the bottom, and the one I submitted second is on top. So if I sort by ID, the one that I submitted first will be back on top. Of course, now if I wanted to alphabetize, the title is out of order. So if I click on the title, it will put them back in alphabetical order. If I click on the title again, it'll reverse alphabetize. If these were in different statuses, if the one was in editing, let's say, I could click on this to sort by status. The section here shows which department or center it's submitted to. These 2 happen to be submitted to the testing department. This field here is the date that it was submitted. So if these have been submitted on different dates, I could sort by the date it was submitted. So in order to view what's going on with each of these, I just click on the title. Notice that there's only about 30 characters for the title. So in this case where I have a series title at the beginning, there's not very much left of the title to see what's actually happening. So if you have a very long, if you have multiple publications that have the beginning of the title the same, make sure that you keep track of the ID number so that you know which publication is which, because you may not be able to tell from the title field. So let's go ahead and look at this first one. This is the summary page. Each submission, you'll be able to see 3 different pages: the summary, the review, and the editing page. Okay, so the summary will show you the submission information, the status, and the submission metadata. So I'll go back and we'll submit something so that this makes some sense. This shows me that I submitted on the 31st. This gives me the name of the file. Shows me I have no supplemental files, that I'm the one who submitted it. I submitted it on the 31st to the testing department. It tells me who my editor is, and this little envelope tells me that I can email the editor by clicking on it. And yes, you can see that it opens up a form to email. It puts the title of the document of the submission in the email, and allows me to write a note. What is the status of this submission? Okay. The summary page tells me when it was started, when the review was started, and when the last time something happened with it. I also have the ability here. This is the information I entered when I submitted it. I put in my information, the title, and the abstract. I can edit this information. I can change the abstract or add in additional information. If I want more information about what's going on with the review, I can go to the review page. I can see that it's in round 1 of the peer review. I can look at the file that's being sent for review. I can see the date of the file, and again, when it was initiated, when it was last modified, and any uploaded files associated with it. So if any of the reviewers have uploaded files that I'm able to see, I would be able to see them in this spot. In the editor decision area, if the editor has made a decision, you would see it here. You can also notify the editor by clicking on this email. You can notify them here, but this editor decision area keeps track of the correspondence about the decision in a thread in this area. So you can always click on this and see what that correspondence was. So if you click, you can send to the editor, and it will be added. Let's do that. Let's see. Any decision on this? I'm pushy. And then now there's a date here, and I can see that I wrote this. Okay, I can delete it if I change my mind. Okay, this is the area also where as an author I can upload a new version. So if the editor's gotten back to me and said you need to make some changes, this is where I could go to upload a new version in the editor decision area. Sometimes I think the editor decision area is poorly named because there's a lot of things that happen here that aren't really editor decisions. So one of the important things to know about OJS is that when you're uploading a file, you have to do 2 steps. You have to choose the file. I have no idea what files are on here. So you first choose a file, and then you have to upload it. I'm not going to do that, but then you have to click this upload button, and then it will get uploaded. Okay, and then the third sort of tab or page for each submission is the editing section, and that's where you can see what the status of it is in the editing phase. And I don't have any that are in editing right now, but here you can also have a chance to see the metadata from here. You can see what dates or what files are being looked at, and when the editor has finished the initial copy edit. Here you'll get a request, and you'll have a chance to you'll have a chance to say that it's underway and send it back. You can upload a file here in response to the initial copy edit. Likewise, you'll have an opportunity to proofread in the proofreading stage the PDF before publication. The nice thing about the way we're doing things now is that this peer review stage, we have the departmental peer review is followed immediately by the administrative approval, so the publication is completely approved for publication before it goes to editing. So once the copy editing is done, the layout and the proofreading can go fairly quickly, and the publication is approved for publication.